hustle, baby, I'm trying to get away. Trying to lock in the guap, trying to block all the pain. I'm a blind little boss, I'm on top of the game. I've been plotting a lot, now I'm tossing your bait. Yeah, my pops got caught, didn't lock them away. My mom fought hard 5 jobs in a day. I'll be dropping the box, and I'm copping the pain. We off to the stars, so a tropical place. Ooh, yeah, I'm spitting it heavy, the mission is steady. Your bitch is a jelly, I'm ditching the petty. You're digging for pennies, I'm itching and ready. I open my heart when I listen to Shetty. I'm bold like a boss, but I'm little like Debbie. I know what your boss, I got richer than Getty. I'm holding the guap and I'm whipping the Yeti, yeah, Kari can play with advanced moves. I'm fucking my girl and her man too. I'm taking the ball like the Rand do. My soul is the one that I can't lose. I soak up the sun like a sand dune. I'm holding up love with the bamboo. I'm rolling the blunt by the candle. Taking the game, running it back without taking a drink. Yeah, I'm the one and I'm making a wave. Rolling the blunt and I'm blazing a J. I'm escaping the brain, go straight for the cake. I'ma take to the bank, not taking a break. I'm made for the race, I pray for the day. I wake with a bake in the greatest state.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay, he's Maddie, and this is Yankee and the Brit, and it's Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, we're on week 8, which, like, I don't know. I feel like week 7, I was like, oh, we're still towards the start of the season. But for some reason, to me now, week 8 feels so much later than week 6. And I don't know why, because I know it's only 2 weeks in between, but it feels like we're much closer to actually understanding the way things are going. And Jay, that was shown in our picks for the last week. Another winning week for us. Jay, on your picks, you went 9-6, I think, and I went 8-7. So another winning week there.
And we both talked ourselves out of a win.
Yeah, you know, but those happen. Still another winning week. So follow for more of that on Sunday, where we go through every single team and tell you exactly who to bet. But tonight is Thursday Night Football, which means we are doing our reactions to week 7. And Jay, I thought I'd start where week 7 finished with the Steelers, but well, technically it finished with the Chargers versus the Cardinals, which was a boring game. So where it actually finished in terms of people being interested, the Steelers 37-15 point win over the New York Jets. Jay, who was at fault for the Jets in that loss? What was up with the Jets in that one?
It was they killed themselves. Penalties. The defense, I don't know why, but their defense is not as good as the talent.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm like quite happy to give the defense a little okay on that one. And look, they haven't been great. Look, they haven't been good in terms of defending against the run. They haven't been good at that all season. So maybe bringing in Hassan Reddick now coming into the next week will help them with that. But Najee Harris was able to run for 100 yards on them. And when you've got players doing that, that's always difficult to defend against. And also I thought Russell Wilson looked pretty good as well. I think the defense can say there was injuries and they've struggled against the run. So I agree with you on that one. And Jay, the offense only scored 15 points as well. So not particularly clicking there. What do you make of the Jets offense in that one and Aaron Rodgers and the other connections?
Let me grab my notes here. I don't think the offense was the offense is going to take a lot of the heat, especially because it's Aaron Rodgers. But the guy threw for almost 300 yards. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions. One of them was on him. One of them wasn't. We can do that every game with quarterbacks, though, so you have to eat those, right? But, I mean, there was 0 run game from Breece Hall. Like, they gave him 0 help in the running game. Breece Hall did have 100 yards receiving, which is great, but if you don't get the running game going, what are you going to do? And give me Saquon, and then I'll think about giving you Cooper. But other than that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going off in the chat at the moment, guys. So get involved in the chat. Get talking to Hitman and tell him if he's right or wrong, especially about this one.
This is why I think Hitman's wrong on this comment. That one I was just going to put up. He's got too big of an ego to walk away after a bad season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if he played his full season last season, Aaron Rodgers, then this could be his last season. But he actually just sat out a whole year. I think he was always looking at 2 years with the Jets. That's the way I think it goes. There, I think he probably
we got a chat beef between Sam K and Hitman. Calling Hitman out for not supporting. Support more, Hitman. Fuck. What the fuck?
But I
He's
see
too
what you're
busy
saying about the
watching
running game.
baseball, Tom K. That motherfucker's watching baseball all the time. And I watch Green Street Hooligans. Throwing 100 miles an hour just means you can get a wank faster, is what they said on Green Street Hooligans.
Terrible.
I don't know.
Terrible. I think with the running game for the Jets, and I just think the Jets' biggest problem overall, and it was the problem that I said at the start, their offensive line is just a put together of
So
dudes who
this
like,
is my
aren't
question.
it.
And it's not just them. I watched this all fucking week. Why do no teams throw the fucking running back screen? And why don't they practice it? Because the teams who do it really well, fucking gash people. Like, I don't get. And you got Brees fucking Hall. Why are you not just dumping screens off to Brees Hall?
Yeah, it's something that we've said about Mike McDaniels a lot, actually, and the fact that he's not running any bubble screens to Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane out the back, like get the screen game going, because we've said it in the 3 years that we've done this show, Jay. We've said that this is the we've said that 4 years. Sorry, 4. Apologies.
Don't cheat
We've said
us.
that. That this is is an extension of the run game. If your run game is struggling, those screen passes, those short passes and stuff like that, that is an extension of the run game, because it forces players to worry about that and need to go outside and stop blocking up the middle as well.
Oh shit, Team Shinigami clan up in here destroying the bomb squad. And you have Brees Hall. You have fucking why did I just go blank?
Braden Allen.
No, the receiver.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Super fast and athletic. And then you throw those screens. You know what that opens up? That opens up the fake screen to your fucking either one of them. And guess your tight end Conklin, screen him down the middle for 30. Like, there's so much thing they could do. And I feel like, so I don't know if you ever sit there and watch it, Maddie, and go, am I smarter than these coaches, or am I just so dumb that I'm so far behind the race I don't understand what's going on? Because sometimes I feel like I'm either smarter than the guy getting paid $8 million a year, or I'm so dumb I don't even realize I'm fucking stupid.
I think I just sit there with this thing called imposter syndrome, like quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, okay, I'm
like,
with you.
Where I'm like, okay, I do this show, and Jay, we watch, because of this show mainly, we watch a shit ton of football in so much ridiculous depth now. Like, the amount of depth I go into when I'm watching a football game now compared to what I used to ever go into.
Rewinding shit and like
I'm watching the fucking coaches film. On DAZN, I was watching the coaches film this week. I was like, what am I doing this for? What's happening? So I do wonder, sometimes I watch these games and I just think, yeah, I feel like I've picked up on something here, but surely they would have seen it as well. They must have seen it, and there must be a reason why they're not doing it, right? But I can't think of one why you wouldn't try and run at least a few screens here. And the other part of this is like, Rodgers is not a quarterback now who can run for the rest of his life. That's not. I
gotta be honest, Hitman. I think Rodgers tells the truth, and it fucking irritates people. Like, you can argue his belief system. Like, we can get into the whole like belief system, and you don't have to agree with him, but it's his truth. And even when it comes to like the miscues of the receivers, you as the quarterback should eat that. It should always be your fault. But I think Rodgers is too honest to a fault, where we say we want honesty from our athletes till they give it to us.
Yeah, I agree on that. I don't think it's particularly good for team building. Actually, this is something
it's not at all.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm saying it's too honest, though, because I really believe that the more I watched it, Mike Williams ran the wrong fucking route, right? Because
I believe Rodgers here. Yeah.
Right. I think he's telling the truth. I think it's just a bad idea.
I think it's also why he needs to have his receivers in the building, and why he doesn't work well with young receivers, because that is going to fuck up. Like, young receivers might, to be honest, get so worried about running the wrong route all of the time that they're thinking about that the whole time as they go. And I think something that I wanted to pick up on here is, I also think that something at fault in terms of the Jets here is a lack of leadership. Davante Adams gave the team speech at the end of the game this week. Davante Adams has been a Jet for 4 days. If he's the person giving the speech at the end of the game, I think there's a lack of leadership in that room. as well. And I don't agree with this comment either from Hitman in terms of Adams will learn the playbook better. It's the same playbook that Adams and Rodgers have run their entire career.
Yeah, but that's 3 years ago. Things change, and it's not 100% the same. So, and you got to get used to the other guys. I get what you're both saying, and I think it falls in the middle. And Rodgers already has a good rapport and connection with Garrett Wilson. So, like having Lazard, having Adams, having him and Conklin seem to be all right clicking. I just think you lose this weekend and your fucking season's over.
I think their season is already over. I think it's ridiculous. In their division, I think it's going to be impossible to get out of.
I think they can. I think if you look at their schedule, I can see them 7-5.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think they're just in a like. I
think they can get above with this stretch. I think they can get above 500 to 7-5.
Yeah, definitely. And that, and then they have a difficult stretch towards the end of the season. I think they're already stuck there.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah. Jay, the other side of this as well is the fact that the Steelers are actually a really, really good defensive team. And we said here, the big matchup here is going to be if the Jets O-line can stop the Steelers D-line, sorry. And they just couldn't. It's just not something that they could do at all. So that is also a reason why the Jets didn't win. The Steelers are actually quite good, and they looked even better with Russell Wilson in. Russell Wilson Renaissance
25 points.
What? Sorry?
He gave me almost 25 points in fantasy. 24 point something.
Yeah, I think George Pickens might be his dream wide receiver. Like, if you think of George Pickens and you think of DK, like kind of similar in terms of like bodying players, like mossing them down the field.
I get what you're saying, but I don't find it fair because I find that Pickens is I don't know about the best because there is that catch from the Bills, but could be the best receiver at 50-50 balls.
Yeah, Pickens, I'd say Pickens is probably a bit
better.
And
I think DK's faster.
Yeah, DK's faster down. Well, not at the moment, he's injured, but
he's
injured until week 11, unfortunately for me. I agree with you. I think Pickens is really good down the field. I think Pickens is also a slightly better route runner than DK Metcalf as well.
And DK Metcalf is so ripped, he would scare you if he wanted to whip your ass. You know what I mean? Like that dude comes up to the club and be like, "What you looking at?" I'm like, "Your kneecap?" Like, because we're not even having a fair fight. I'm kicking your knee out, you big swole motherfucker.
So I think when you're looking at that potential matchup there, I think it was on the commentary. I can't remember who was on the commentary and saying this, but they were basically pointing out that the way that Russell Wilson throws his deep ball is like a floated moon ball for 50 yards.
His moon ball. It was Chris Collinsworth. He just kept harping on it. And then I forget who he calls games with. Tirico. Tirico kept bringing it back up because he thought it was funny.
Yeah, so he throws this moon ball, which is perfect for 50-50 catches. Like, it turns out there's a reason why Russell Wilson does so well with a 50-50 catch ball player. Like DK Metcalf, Pickens is the same style. So I think the Steelers could be dangerous going forward. I think when you have that good a defense, you're always dangerous. If you have a QB who can run the show, then that's going to serve you really well.
And because of this game, from here on forward, this is a new rule. It will hence be known as the Hail Rodgers.
The Hail Rodgers. Yep. Okay. I will give you that. Okay. Moving on to the game that's just around the corner from you, Jay.
Have a great night at work, buddy.
The Green Bay Packers beat the Houston Texans. The Packers won 24 points to 22. Jay, are you worried about CJ Stroud's slow start to the season? He threw for 86 yards in this game.
Not really, because this is a kid who had the best start in NFL history. So now anytime he slows down, we're just going to crush him, right? We're going to crush him. And I think everybody forgets it's only his second year and they think, this guy's been in the league for 5 years. And defenses are going to throw shit at him he's never seen because that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to confuse him. This is still a great team. And it's another team, though, I think shot themselves in the foot. And that was their game. And they just said, here, you have this.
Yeah, I think also an important thing to note on this is the fact that Joe Mixon got 25 carries and ran for 115 yards. Like that could also explain why CJ Stroud. But CJ Stroud went 10 of 21 what is it? 10 of
86.
21 off 86 yards.
Yeah, it's
10 of 21 off
ridiculously.
86.
It's awful. It's awful. But
It is awful.
I'm not worried about him. That was the question, right? Because
Yeah, definitely. I'm not worried about I'm not worried about him too. I'm not worried about him in terms of play.
I'm more
I am
worried
a little
about
worried
Joe
about the
Burrow.
Texans though. I am a little bit worried about the Texans as they go through here with the fact that they're not winning. They didn't win a close game here against a really good team.
Yes, I get that. And that is a chance. But are you worried about them winning the division? Because I'm not, because that's an awful division.
Yeah, but they have an awful division. So they just need to make it to the playoffs healthy.
Yeah, and then you got to get clicking before then. If it happens, we'll see. But I'm not worried about them making the playoffs. But I am worried about them being a true contender. That, you know what I mean? Because I did have them picked as one of the teams I thought could make the Super Bowl. And it's like, I'm not sure I feel that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And another team that can actually is starting to raise its claim for contender. They'll be featuring on the Brits picks in our power rankings on Sunday, so show up for that. But the Green Bay Packers here. Sorry?
Sunderland.
3 points clear at the top of the league, Jay. Another win. Burnley only drew. Just letting you know. 3 points clear. Sorry.
I don't really care about Burnley. I just like to fuck with you, but they both can still get.
Yeah. Both.
Now, is it relegation when you go up to or just down?
Promotion if you go up.
Relegation means down, right? Like I've never looked up the definition, and we don't use that word over here unless we're joking about an NFL team getting relegated to college, right? So
we got so it's promotion as you go up. So 3 points clear at the top of the league. You get 3 points for a win. So we're basically a whole win ahead of the top of the league at the moment. With still 2/3 of the season to play.
3/4 of the season yet to go.
Yeah, 2/3, 3/4 of the season still to play. But Jay, the Packers, I thought they came back really well. They looked like they were going to fall apart in this game. But what do you make of Jordan Love in that game, and what do you make of Jordan Love so far this season? Because at the start of that game, he looked horrendous.
Jordan Love is Brett Favre without the accolades.
Yeah, you think so? Do you think he could go get the accolades, Jordan Love?
Maybe. And it took that team some years, so they'll have to build. So I think they're another team. If they make the playoffs, people are going to be like, "Fuck, I have to play these motherfuckers." Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're a real contender for the Super Bowl right now because there's some nasty teams in the NFC. So
I also weirdly think that the Packers will be better if they don't win their division and they come in like the 7th seed or something like that. Because
then they like to compare him to Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's a bad comparison. I think he's more like Brett Favre. I think he's a gunslinger. Him and Baker Mayfield are in the same category of type of quarterback, right? They're just gonna fucking sling it because they believe that their arm can and their talent can put it anywhere, which is wonderful sometimes and absolutely heartbreaking at other times. And I think Jordan Love's going to be like Brett Favre in the sense that he is going to win you games and make you love him, and he is going to rip your heart out by losing you games with that same arm.
Yeah, well, Jordan Love, I think it's his mechanics as well, the way that he throws the ball. He seems to prefer to throw the ball off the back foot from what I can tell.
And that's an Aaron Rodgers thing. I wondered it. I got to go back and watch his college because I liked him coming out of college, but I don't remember shit. And I want to know, was that Rodgers, you watching him, or is that something you did in college? Did you pick up a bad habit watching a guy who has the most talented arm in NFL history throw a ball?
Yeah, weirdly, it is a bad habit, and it's not a bad habit. So the reason he had such a good game against the Dallas Cowboys is because he just threw off his back foot very accurately. Right, the Dallas Cowboys pass rush was so close to him during that playoff game the entire time, and he would get ridiculously accurate throws off his back step.
But he does it when he's got protection.
Exactly, which is so strange. Watching him when he's got protection, throwing off his back foot is ridiculous. And he threw 2 interceptions in this game. One pick six early on.
Yeah, I think it was. I was going back and forth between the most heartbreaking game in NFL history and that game. So,
Yeah, it was a lot like that game. We'll get to the most heartbreaking game later on because one of those teams are playing in Thursday night football. So so
That's
stay
the only
tuned.
great thing about a Thursday night game is you get to, like, if they can win, you get that bad taste
You
out
just
right
get it
away.
gone. Yeah, you just get it gone. Jay, CJ Stroud or Jordan Love is a debate that I've seen some people having recently.
For me, it's 100% CJ Stroud.
I don't understand how it can't be CJ Stroud. To be
This
honest.
is no shot at Bobby Slowick, right? None, because he is amazing. But I look at it like, give me the best offensive minds in the NFL, which he may be one of them. Who is going to produce more, CJ Stroud or Jordan Love? And I'm really like, I can see CJ Stroud in 5 or 6 offenses just throwing the ball all over. I maybe see Jordan Love in, like, Andy Reid. Like, maybe McVay can reel him in. Like, I don't see him. Like, Shanahan would want to choke him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with Jordan Love,
is a nice guy, but I think he'd lose his mind with all those turnovers too. I think the only reason he doesn't lose his mind with Darnold is because they have no other option. Like, you have to make this work, which, and I think he loves a lot of shit about Darnold, but I think there's times where he wants to lose his mind for some of the interceptions.
Yeah, and I think with Jordan Love, like, he needs to rein those interceptions in, like, so badly. CJ Stroud, I think, has had a slower start to the season than a lot of people would have expected, but they are playing really well in terms of actually just going out and winning games.
Now,
and this game was one that they let slip away.
I think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, but right now they're pretty much the same quarterback this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one as well. Okay, and then the final game that we're going to talk about in terms of reacting before moving on to the next parts of the show, Jay.
I want to state, though, I was absolutely wrong, and Sam Darnold is a starter in the NFL.
He is a starter.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to a top team, and I think he's going to get stuck, poor guy, in this bridge quarterback role forever. He's going to be Fitzpatrick, but he is definitely one of the best 32 players, 32 quarterbacks in the NFL.
There's enough teams without quarterbacks for Sam Darnold to easily fit into, like,
right. But he's always going to be that guy when you got him, you're looking for somebody else.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I honestly think. Okay, this starts a whole nother conversation if I do this, but let's just really quickly say this because we're going to move on to the team that I'm going to say right now. But I think if he was in the 49ers, I think they'd get the same production that he's getting with Brock Purdy.
Okay, I'm not going to argue the 49ers, but I think that's an anomaly because I think Shanahan loves Darnold. Like, it's like this. But I'll tell you, every quarterback coach or every great quarterback coach has nothing but great things to say about Sam Darnold. McVay and this came out later, but the Rams offered him too. He chose to come to Minnesota for the same exact contract he could have went to LA for.
Yeah, Denver wanted him as well.
I'm just saying,
as well.
Yeah, these top offensive minds really like Sam Darnold.
Yeah, so he's definitely you know what? He could be the quarterback for the Rams, like, in the next 2-3 years. Depending
I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I gotta address that.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming. We'll get to that later in the show as well. So,
good.
Guys,
I took zero look at your rundown, by the way, today. I didn't even glance at it. So
no, that's okay. That's okay. So, guys, stick around. The thing that just made Jay's boil just there, that's coming up later in the show.
It's so ridiculous. I'm like, I got so many questions. Like, but you can keep going.
It's coming. I knew you would. Jay, we are going to stick with the Kansas City Chiefs beating the 49ers as well. Jay, are the Chiefs Super Bowl favorites?
I knew what you were going to ask without knowing what you were going to ask. Yes, absolutely. Like, how do you not? They won the last two. And if we didn't learn anything from last year, we're ridiculous, where they can change their style of play. So what makes you think they can't do it during the season if they need to? Like Belichick never played the same style of football game to game. Never. He took your weaknesses and jammed it down your throat, right? And he took your strength and took it away. That was what he did every game. So Kareem Hunt is running fucking amazing. Like, for coming off a couch. Like, seriously. And then Pacheco's coming back. That's going to be a nasty 1-2 punch when that happens. That's why Hitman couldn't get a trade for me. if Pacheco was out for the year, I would have considered his first trade offer. But I'm not going to be stuck with Kareem Hunt being the second fiddle when we hit the playoffs. But I don't know. Like, everybody's like, oh, they can't win because they got no receivers. Did we not watch this last year? It seems like we're seeing the same movie, but people forget they watched it.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I really didn't understand how the 49ers could be favorites in this game. It's why the Chiefs were my only lock bet to come off this week.
Because now the 49ers are really fucked, but
yeah, that later. Fucked, yeah. But like, don't bet against the Chiefs. Basically, I think the Chiefs are definitely favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens might be the best team in the AFC. Like,
that's not saying the Chiefs are guaranteed to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But if you put a gun to our heads and said you have to pick somebody right now to bet your life savings on, it's got to be the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think the Ravens are a better team than them in the AFC. But what have we seen time and again is that the Chiefs beat the Ravens when it comes down to it, because the Chiefs go out and they win football games. That's what they do.
Their defense is nasty,
and their defense is insane. And people just don't I've got a theory. It's they don't put up big fantasy points. The Chiefs defense. So the Chiefs defense is ranked about like 10th to 12th in fantasy, and they don't get big takeaways, and they don't
really good for me. Like, I never get rid of them. Like, I'll switch defenses, but ever since I got them, I just hide them on my bench, and I had to get rid of them one week because in another league because of buys, and I just throw them back on. And then I got to get them in our league, and I was like, fuck, let me stash. I didn't even play them last week. I stashed the defense in our league where we're always looking for the slightest little edge with 14 players.
Yeah, definitely. And I the reason that they don't get high points in fantasy, Jay, is because they average the same points every week. They get the same points every week. It's not like it's like, all right, when you get the Cowboys defense, like the Cowboys defense last year could just win you games by themselves, but then they could also very easily get -4 points as well. So their average per week, their consistency is really not great, but then the amount of points they just amass because of the crazy amount of points they get in a couple of weeks throughout the season means that they become the highest ranked defenses, right? But I just think the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't get loads of turnovers. They don't make loads of massive plays. They don't do that. That's not how they play defense. They're the opposite to what a lot of NFL defenses do now. They just go out, they make their tackles, they put pressure on the quarterback, they make you throw it into tight windows, and they knock the ball down.
Not up the middle.
Yeah, exactly. They just go, you're not going to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Like, that's not the way that this game is going to go, right? So I think I just think the Chiefs defense is brilliant, and I don't understand how people haven't woken up to it yet. I really don't get it.
They keep saying Travis Kelce can't play anymore, which is wild to me.
No, that's insane. Like, they just don't need him to play right now. It's like,
and when they do need him, what did we watch Sunday? Because when they needed him, every time they needed him, he came through.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Gronk would go weeks and weeks without like making a big play. And then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs and it's like, third down, cool, where's Gronk? And just throw straight to like in those big time plays.
You would think I have some stake in this, and I don't honestly, but everybody go check out that Aaron Hernandez series. Like, seriously, on Hulu. It is so good. And it made me go back and watch highlights. I forgot how Aaron Hernandez, if he would not got in trouble, was probably going to make the Hall of Fame. Like, he was so good.
Yeah, and him and Gronk is
have you ever seen another tight end play running back? Like, seriously,
it depends where you put Taysom Hill.
Okay, but he's more like a quarterback to me. He's more like Spratt. So, but like he just played great running back too at times, and like, I don't know. Just go watch it, everybody, on Hulu.
Yeah, definitely. And Jay, on that note as well, with the Chiefs being the favorite, what does the addition of D-Hop do for the Chiefs? Because they've just added DeAndre Hopkins for, what is it?
He's your third down red zone guy. He's dangerous with them. You're going to see a resurgent, not a D-Hop fucking back in the day resurgence, but you're going to see a guy that everybody wrote off now come back and make huge plays. And I'm not saying 60-yarders, like huge plays, like 3rd and 11, 3rd and 13, 3rd and fucking goal from the 7. Like, this is the shit D-Hop's going to do. And that dude's got some of the biggest hands on the planet. So like, it makes it catching a ball a lot easier.
Yeah, D-Hop hasn't actually played that badly in Tennessee.
Mm-mm.
Like, I think he's caught like 80% of Will Levis's touchdown passes in his career, or something ridiculous. There was that period where they first brought in Will Levis, and him and D-Hop were just unbelievable at everything. Like, it was ridiculous for like a short period of time. And D-Hop just hasn't played that badly in Tennessee. He can still run a good route. He can still go downfield. But what the Chiefs have is they have a two-headed monster running back coming in. They have a down the field threat now. They have two of the best tight ends in the league playing for them. Noah Gray could start on most other teams as well. And then they have D-Hop to be that big contested catch, run a nice route, that kind of guy, right? And I think he'll be there. I think he'll be their volume receiver. I think he'll be the person that Patrick Mahomes ends up throwing to the most.
And with 10 weeks to get him used to your playbook before the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll throw him in. They'll throw him a bit this week. I think they'll throw him in more and more as they go through.
Andy Reid he'll use the KISS concept. And I don't know. Most people know what KISS is. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Right? So Andy Reid will definitely do that. He is going to teach D-Hop the routes he needs to know for the amount of plays he's going to have. And then they're going to slowly just build on it. He's not going to throw him in the deep end. He's not going to make him drown. You know what I mean? Andy Reid's a smart, good coach. Do you know that Andy Reid got his first NFL coaching job because he drove to Green Bay and camped out in the parking lot and just bugged Holmgren every day till he hired him?
Good for him, man. I don't think wide receivers make a huge difference to a team that's in trouble. I think they make a massive difference to a team that is like set everywhere else. It's why I think that Amari Cooper will have a bigger thing than Devontae Adams.
The only place right now I could say a team that's struggling would change from a receiver is Arizona.
Definitely.
D-Hop's not the type of receiver. They need a fast guy, but I think he changed life. But other than that, I agree with you.
Yeah, or they need Arizona just needs some meat on defense as well, to be perfectly honest. But actually, they just got a win against the Chargers, a good win, surprising win there, I thought. Jay, moving on to segment 2 now. This is your favorite segment that we do on a week-to-week basis, Jay. It's our overreactions. Jay, what are your overreactions to week 7?
All right. So Todd Bowles should have been instantly fired.
Yep. Okay.
He got both of his starting receivers fucking crushed.
Yeah, got them killed. The Bucs, that wasn't the be-all and end-all game for the Bucs. That, like, with the way that their division goes, I think it's whoever wins the most division games will probably end up winning that division, right? It's going to be a close division, and I think he's just ruined their season just then, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, my first overreaction, Jay, is Jerry Jones has gone senile. Like, he's clinically senile.
I'm not sure it's an overreaction, but okay.
The Cowboys needed a quiet week on our bye, and instead you've come out and you've started criticizing the head coach, and I just think that's just dumb. I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what Jerry does sometimes, though, and I don't ever try to figure out Jerry.
No, I think it's better not to, right? I think it's about time to start looking at some care homes if I was Steven.
I know it's fun. I'm just joking, but I always say I never try to understand women because women understand women and they fucking hate each other. So maybe that goes with Jerry too.
All right.
Nobody hates a woman more than another woman. Let's be honest. But okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to number 2.
I got to stay with the Bucs. The Bucs playoff chances are dead.
Yep, that's it. I don't think that's that much of an overreaction. I think that's it. The reason that they were doing so well is because they were just playing amazingly well at wide receiver the entire time. And then their offensive line was holding up and playing well. The run game was okay, but like now you're without both wide receivers, and I think that's it for them. Jay, my second is Marcus Mariota will be a starting quarterback next year. Did you see him in that game? I know it was against the Panthers, but
that's a little bit of an overreaction. I almost hit the message and said I forgot Marcus Mariota was even in the league.
Didn't the Commanders offense didn't take a single step back without Jaden Daniels in that game, and It was already 25 points to 3 or whatever. But yeah, I thought he looked great.
All right. So my last one, even though it has tons of cap ramifications, we just saw Deshaun Watson's last game with the Browns.
Jay, you are fucking kidding me.
No, is that yours?
We won't ever see Deshaun Watson play football again.
Well, that's a little more harsh than mine, but okay. Right.
Is my overreaction. Well, look, I get it with it. Let's just talk about that for a second because we both got it. And we, as we say, Jay, we never look at each other's show notes or anything like that. Our show rundowns are just a bunch of questions for us to answer, and then we never.
Sometimes I don't even look at those.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I send them too late, I think, is what happened on this one. Jay, with Deshaun Watson here, I think, look, that injury, it's an ACL injury, right, which takes at least a year, at least 12 months to recover from. There's plenty of players that are out for longer than that as well. So that's already a year gone in the contract, which would mean he only has another year left after that. By that point, the way that the Browns are playing at the moment, you think they're probably going to be picking in the top 5 picks of the NFL draft this year. So they will hopefully be getting a young quarterback, which if you give him a year to sit, which is the year that Deshaun's injured, and then you play them, you're not going to need Deshaun Watson as you go forward. And it has a huge amount of cap ramifications.
Here's a quick, off the top of my head, overreaction. Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback for the Browns next year.
I like it. That's a good one. Marcus Mariota will be the starting quarterback for the Browns next year. Maybe. We'll see.
That is the most Browns move ever, so you might be right.
Yeah. I think it seems... oh, by the way, can we just say Browns fans booing Deshaun Watson? Like, I'm all for booing Deshaun Watson, but maybe not when he's getting carted off injured. I think it just shows where the Browns are at there. That's a difficult situation for Browns fans.
We as fans, and I have done it too, we forget the human aspect of things sometimes.
Yes, and I think with Deshaun Watson, it's okay to maybe lose that human aspect with all the things that he's been charged for.
Yeah, but I'm with you. You never want to spit on somebody's grave, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to take them while they're down.
It's the one thing in football that we don't cheer is injury. Even though Kevin Stefanski might genuinely have been cheering his injury in his head, saying, okay, I can play Jameis Winston and don't have to feel too bad about cap ramifications now.
Right.
But he looked better. They looked a bit better with Jameis Winston already on the field. Okay, Jay, so moving on now to my favorite segment in the weeks that we do. It's GMJ, where we ask our resident GMing expert, Jay over here, to take GM positions for different NFL teams. And Jay, my first one is, you're the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. You are making that big money right now as GM of the Dallas Cowboys. What would you say if your owner is criticizing your coach? Let's pretend Jerry Jones has moved on. The new owner of the Dallas Cowboys is criticizing whoever the coach is. As the GM there, what do you say?
Say to the owner?
Say to the owner, say to the press, what line are you taking?
I like that money, but if you can guarantee me I won't get fired, I would tell them to shut the fuck up. And I'd be like, you're making the job twice as hard on all of us. Just shut up and let us fucking fly under the radar for once.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the Dallas Cowboys, why are the Dallas Cowboys one of the biggest news stories in the cycle when we're on a fucking bye week? It's just taking so many... The Cowboys have been taking so many strays all week when we had a fucking bye in week 7. What are we doing? What is happening here? And the first ones that we were taking was... the Cowboys have got to be feeling bad. Jay, do you know where Derrick Henry has his off-season home?
Yeah, Dallas.
In Dallas, yeah, he does. And it's like that was whenever it was like, oh, look at how good the Ravens play. Wouldn't it be great if the Dallas Cowboys could have had Derrick Henry? Thanks for that, everybody. And then Jerry Jones comes out and starts criticizing Mike McCarthy, and then with the biggest news story they're going. So yeah, kill the news story, tell the owner to shut the fuck up. And you're not getting fired. The owner respects you as well. That's the most important part there.
Yeah, then I'm telling him that he needs to shut the fuck up. Probably nicer than that, but yes.
Yeah, and with the coach, I think as well, you would kind of put your arm around them a little bit and say, don't worry about it. just keep doing you because it's not going to help at that point.
I don't know. I might be like, Mike, you better win.
See, Mike,
Barry
actually,
wants to get rid of you. You better win.
I wish he didn't fucking say it to the media, but fuck, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. On that one. Okay, Jay.
I'll coddle the players. I would never coddle the coach.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think, Jay, you'll now be a GM consultant for all 32 NFL teams. What is the most valued position to get NFL wins outside of quarterback?
Left tackle.
So just this question is designed for the amount of hype that's around wide receiver trades at the moment. So you're saying if you're going out there and trading,
they're not even third. A pass rusher's third for me. And I would probably say a shutdown corner I'd be more important to me than a top wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to look at the fact that the Jets get
only 5 teams have a top 5 wide receiver. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the Jets get Devontae Adams and it causes all this massive hype. The Bills get Amari Cooper and it causes massive hype. Now with the Chiefs and D-Hop and it causes massive hype. But actually there are bigger things going on out there. So for instance, Joe Walt comes back to the Chargers fit this week and stuff like that. That makes a bigger deal at left tackle. For example, I agree with you on left tackle. I agree with you on pass rusher as well. And Jay, finally, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers GM right now, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago as a question, but are you trying to trade Justin Fields now? And how much are you trying to trade him for?
What'd they give up for him? I don't even remember, but
like it was like a 6 or like a 7.
Yeah, beat what I gave up for him, and I'd probably trade him. But maybe you don't, though. Do you want to make a run? I don't know. Like, it's rough to give up your backup quarterback if they're halfway decent, especially with Russell Wilson's age. And I also think you might not want to trade him because I don't think you're going to have to compete with a lot of people to re-sign him as a backup.
Yeah, I think looking at it, I sometimes look at NFL trades like a bit of a stock exchange on players that I'm not sure on. And it's sell them high, right? Before they take the crash. And the longer that Justin Fields sits on that bench, the less his stock is worth as you go through. And
I don't think it's worth much right now. I don't think a team would give up more than a 7th for him.
Yeah, you don't think so?
It has to be a pick swap. I think, I'll give you a 6th and you give me a 7th back. I think he proved that he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. And he only won games with one of the best defenses in the league. How many teams can say they have one of the best defenses in the league? He's not going to win you games. And there is a lot of open throws that he just didn't even fucking let it go to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a certain few teams that I'd be interested in him. I think with Miami, I think is the one that just jumped out to mind. I think Cleveland as well would be teams that would be relatively interested in Justin Fields as like at least as a weapon and will play starting quarterback for them right now. Jay, just a final GM point, actually. This is one more question than we normally do, but that conversation just made me think of something. But you're the GM of the Miami Dolphins. Are you playing Tua Tagovailoa this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he's passed concussion protocol, you're like, yep, let's do it.
He's a grown-ass man. He wants to play. Like, he's my best chance to win, and he's going to play football again. If Tua was on the fence or asked my advice, I'd tell him it's time to put it up. But if you decide this is what you're going to do, then you're my best chance to win. So go.
Yeah, I don't know whether I take the risk this week.
He's been off, 5 weeks now?
Yeah, he's been on. So I would give him some padded practice. I would make sure that he's got a certain amount of padded practices and stuff like that behind him. But I mean, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback.
Practice again.
You're not allowed to hit the quarterback in padded practice anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not even letting you into padded practice in case somebody accidentally sneezes on you.
Yeah, I think so as well. I've just picked him up on fantasy because Jalen Daniels is in.
Actually, I looked at him and said, nope, I made a mistake drafting you. I'm not picking you up again. And I left it alone. I don't know
Yeah.
which one of us was ahead in the waiver wire either, but I looked at him and was like, nope.
Yeah, it was Tua, and no, I just added Tua. I didn't have to claim Tua. He'd fell.
Okay, well, when he was on claim, I looked at him and was like, nope.
I didn't. I'm not totally confident. I'm only picking him up for an injury. And moving on to that, Jay, and that injury and the player that I just named there, Jay, this is Rookie QB Watch, something that we do every Thursday. We look at how the rookie QBs performed. And Jay, does Jaden Daniels' injury worry you going forward with the way that he plays and his body build? Does this injury worry you?
No. It was a rib shot. Like, I'm not that worried. It happens in the NFL. And he looked fine on the sidelines after the game, like everything's going to be okay. And I haven't seen Jaden Daniels take a ton of massive hits.
Yeah. But people saying, oh, like his style of play. He doesn't, it's not QB runs. Like, he doesn't do QB runs. That's not what he does. He scrambles out the pocket, and although his slide is the ugliest slide I've ever seen.
Yeah, in the offseason, he needs to call Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And he needs to go play with an ex-baseball player and get taught how to slide. The best slide in the NFL is Russell Wilson. And that's from being so good at baseball.
I mean, I think the best slide in the NFL was Mac Jones when he would slide and try and take out defensive players' kneecaps. That was my personal favorite. I think I like the QB being an absolute crazy motherfucker. But yeah, if I'm Jaden Daniels and want a longer career, I'm not trying to snap defensive players' kneecaps doing that. Yeah, I think he could just learn with making his slide prettier, and he just took a rib shot. Maybe he could also call Patrick Mahomes and found out where that dad bod strength comes from and what gets you that dad bod. I think is the way that Jaden Daniels can go forward. Just getting a bit of extra padding around those ribs would help. Did you see Patrick Mahomes is bouncing off of the safety Mustafa? That Mustafa guy was nailing people all around the field that entire game. And then Patrick Mahomes bounced him off. And like the body comparison between Mustafa and Mahomes is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is dad bod. Jay, the other rookie QB watch I kind of looked out for this week was Spencer Rattler. How much can you read into Spencer Rattler's poor performance last week? And he didn't look particularly good, but he was against a really good team. What do you make of that?
I'm not worried about him yet either, though, because, first of all, he's a late round pick, so you don't have to worry. Neat developmental. And besides the first couple games, the Saints have looked fucking awful.
Yeah, I think he's now behind a team that doesn't have a good offensive line and was playing against a really good defense. And as you say, he's a late round pick and he's developmental. I agree with you. I don't think he's shown me anything that if I was the Saints would make me just go, no, we're not even going to continue to look at that. I think they'll continue to look at him going through the rest of this season, the way things are going for them.
I think at worst, he's there 3 seasons as a backup, and that's the absolute worst.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I agree with you on that. I think he may even start like at some point, just so they can it would make so much sense for them just to get their cap under control with a rookie QB contract just for a little bit, just for like two years, just for
Gail Benson's a scumbag, so who knows?
Okay, Jay. We're now moving on to our Week 7 awards, where we pick our Week 7 MVP and our Week 7 rookie MVP. Jay, I'll do mine. I'll do both of mine first, and then you can go for yours. Jay, my Week 7 MVP is Russell Wilson, coming in off the bench, playing a really good game and getting the Steelers a really big win. And that felt like a really big game between the Steelers and the Jets as well. So I'll get Russell Wilson for that one. And then my Week 7 rookie MVP is Evan Williams, the safety for the Green Bay Packers. I think the fact that they managed to keep the Texans and like Tank Dell to zero fantasy points, 0 catches and all of that kind of stuff. The fact that they kept CJ Stroud to 86 yards. The Green Bay secondary played really well, and I think Evan Williams at safety played really, really well as well.
Well, my MVP goes to a whole team.
All right.
And it's the Detroit Lions for overcoming bad coaching.
Again, Jared Goff does everything to overcome that bad coaching. It's pretty incredible.
Dude, did you see that fake punt? Like, that was the dumbest shit ever. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I almost thought, like, this is what's going to cost you the game right fucking here when they did that. So I'm just And people won't like it because it's the opposite way around and we just shit on him. But my MVP is Spencer Rattler for taking the abuse that he fucking took and kept kicking. Like
I like that.
That was an MVP ass whooping he took, and he just kept getting up. And like, there's something to be said about a guy who's got heart and willing to fight through all of that. And that showed me, like, if you can get the rest of it in order, this kid has the right mentality to be a top NFL quarterback. I don't know if he'll ever get there, but I was very impressed. So it's very weird while we were shitting on him, and I knew he was my rookie MVP.
I think that Drake May could live in that world as well of like, all right, he's getting the shit kicked out of him, but at least he's like just getting back up and making some decent throws and actually trying to stay in the game.
No, I agree, but I think being a later round quarterback is what puts you over the top.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I expected from Drake May when he came in the NFL is I knew this dude was tough because he got his ass whooped at NC a lot.
yeah, definitely. I think just like as a quarterback,
there was times where I didn't think Spencer Rattler was getting back up.
Yeah, good for him, especially with the criticisms of him coming in from his time on the Netflix show QB1, where everybody says, "Oh, this guy's so soft and all like so Showtime, show Hollywood, that kind of guy." So good for him to be proving them wrong. This guy's got grit and determination. I think he's overcome a lot.
Yeah, do I think he's the best rookie in the NFL? Far from it, but I took away from that. Like, this kid's tough as fucking nails. Now, be careful, and this isn't a shot or me being funny, but look what's going on with Brett Favre and Parkinson's. Like, don't take too much of an ass whooping for this game.
Yeah,
that's my fear for Tua.
Yeah, me too. Make sure to throw the ball away as much as possible there. Jay, that's week 7 in the bag. Done. Week 7 finished. We're now moving on to week 8 of the NFL season, and it's Thursday night football. And Jay, your Minnesota Vikings are heading to LA to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Jay, can the Vikings bounce back after a really tough loss against the Lions? What did you make of that loss, their first loss of the season?
It fucking was the most heartbreaking shit. And I'm not going to lie, there was a second there where I said, if they pick up 2 first downs, I win this game and the pick. Because they were going to win by 1.
So I was going to text you and say, Jay, this could genuinely be the best feeling for you ever, where you're taking against the Vikings because it feels like good luck, but you're going to beat the spread. You're going to be fine with the spread and get the win as well. But I didn't want to jinx it, and it turned out that it wouldn't.
So do we know if Puka's actually playing tonight yet? I'm trying to look this up.
No.
We don't know yet?
No. Rams activate from injury reserve, which usually means yes. That was an hour ago. He's coming up from injuries. He's coming up from injury reserve. So that usually means yes. But will he be playing with a full workload?
I think they had to like do some kind of move with him at this point too, though.
Maybe it has been. It's been 5 weeks, so maybe. But yeah,
it'd be weird for them to start him on a Thursday night game, but yeah, they might.
Yeah, definitely. Cooper Kupp isn't full go, I don't think either. But the Vikings game against the Lions, their first loss of the season. Look, the Lions are a really good football team, and they played it really close. I think the Lions. I think that's one of those games where if you just flip a coin over and over again, it's going to come up 50-50. I think you two are just really well matched.
They want to see how he does in warm-ups.
Yeah, fair enough. I think looking at that game, Jay, last week, I think you two are just 2 really well-matched teams that just went toe-to-toe with each other. And during that game, I agree with you. I think Dan Campbell made some really poor coaching decisions, and I think Jared Goff was excellent again and really overcame it, the first person to read Brian Flores' defense. Jay, where do the Vikings need to improve tonight? Where do they need to improve in order to come out and win this game and get over their first loss of the season?
Oh, it's pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, definitely. I think they did shoot
I don't want to
themselves in the
shit on
foot.
the Lions or take anything away because they played great, but I really believe 100% the Vikings beat themselves in that game.
Yeah, definitely. I think they definitely shot themselves in the foot as they were going forward. I think a lot of pre-snap penalties there, a lot of almost being too eager before the play there. I think in a really tight and important game there, I think if they clean themselves up pre-snap, I think
They
they'll be
got to be
totally
careful because these refs are ridiculous this year because I know this is one play, but Jordan Addison was not offsides on that
no,
fucking play. And
no,
I'm like, you got to get that right as a ref. And don't get me wrong, there's probably a million things they did that didn't get called, and I'm not blaming that on it. But these refs have been wild. I've seen them call illegal formation, and the linemen are lined up correctly. They're just overly calling this setback lineman shit because the head has to break the waist, and you're looking down the side, and you're like, they're showing it on your TV, and you're like, that dude's lined up fine.
yeah,
Not in this
definitely.
game. I'm just saying in general, they're being ridiculous.
Yeah, I think what's so strange, they're being so crazy about pre-snap and just getting everything right on pre-snap, and then they're actually getting it wrong. And then holds as well, like holding penalties, they're being ridiculous on this year in terms of offensive holding. They're really just giving everything. If they see a slight jersey pull out anything, they're just giving it straight away. But then they're letting them play down the field. Like everything is then just so aggressive down the field afterwards as well.
And it's weird because it seems like, it just seems like it's quarter to quarter. Like they let them play, and then all of a sudden, like say the third quarter comes and there's like 4 pass interferences, and you're like, you just let that shit go the whole game.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if we're in a world of let them play, which I'm not against, let them play, less flags. That's fine.
Unless it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm with
Unless
you.
it's ridiculous, swallow the flag. But then we can't then go ticky-tack on the offensive line. Like it feels like every play, it feels like every drive has at least 2-3 holding penalties that the offensive team has to overcome that any other season would never have been given. So I'm not really sure. And look, offensive line play in the NFL is bad enough. Like offensive line players,
The Ravens went from first and goal inside the 5 to like third and goal from like the 38.
Yeah, definitely. And I just
appreciate you, Leon.
I just think that offensive line play is bad enough in the NFL without us doing that. Like defensive ends are freakish athletes enough without us just taking away an offensive lineman's ability to block them, and we're just calling that holding the entire time as well. So there's a referee rant over there.
I would be a fan of them not calling holding that didn't affect the play.
Yeah, I
if
never
you're running
get
to
that.
the right and the receiver on the left held the fucking lineman he was blocking, like just let it go. Let it go. Even if it went against my team, just let it go.
Yeah, I just think with everything like that, it has to be affecting the game. I think all NFL stuff should be how much has it affected the play? Here, Jay, where are the Rams at with their seasons now? Because the Rams have suffered so many injuries, but they've played so many close games, but they're at 2-4. Where are the Rams at with their season? Where should they be looking?
So I wish the Rams and the Jets were playing this week because it would be battle of the most talented 2-4 teams.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the Rams
play better than the Jets. Don't get me wrong, but they're both so much talent on the teams. But offensive line is killing the Jets, and injuries is killing the Rams.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you look at where the Rams are, I think a lot of people have started to write off the Rams here, but the Rams are getting their best players are coming, their best wide receivers are coming back.
If they lose tonight, though, their season's kind of dead.
They're struggling, but how many wins is it going to take to win the NFC West? To get a division win in the NFC West this year, how many wins is it going to take? Really? Because the 49ers,
I don't know what the records are. I just do what I think it's going to take to win it.
I just need to have a look at what the records are now. But the 49ers, yeah, exactly. So the Rams are only 2 games behind the Seahawks right now.
Yep.
So the Seahawks are 4-3.
49ers 4-3.
3-4.
3-4.
So the Seahawks are 4-3, the Cardinals are 3-4, the 49ers are 3-4, and the Rams are 2-4. So, all right, yeah, it would be difficult if you fall 3 games behind. That's tough. but they're the best team in this division, actually. When you look at their roster and everyone's healthy, they'll be the best team in this division just because the 49ers are in some weird flux right now that I don't understand how they look. So I'm not sure whether the Rams are dead, but the way that the media is talking about the Rams would
If they go to
indicate
2-5, though, they go
if
to
you go
2-5
it becomes,
to even get 9 wins is going to be rough.
yeah, it becomes difficult. Don't get me wrong, but if they get, I think 9 wins will be enough. I think 9 wins gets you in, gets you a division win in this division, depending on how well you play against.
And I think that's the only way
rival.
you make the playoffs in that division is if you win it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that everybody has to win in their division. I can't see the division.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this could be the first time in NFL history we have 4 teams from the same division in a.
Yeah, with the NFC North. I think the NFC North arguably have like 4 of the 10 best teams in the NFL.
I think the worst record in the NFC North right now is 4-2.
Yeah, it is. Like it's the Bears at 4-2, isn't it?
And the Packers, and I think the Vikings and Lions are both 5-1. So yeah,
yeah. But yeah, Jay, the way that the media is talking and the way that trade rumors are looking is that it looks like the Rams are giving up.
I'm fucking leaving.
First of all, let's have a little chat about. I've seen that Cooper Kupp is on the trade block for the Rams. Apparently, what do you make of that?
So they'll never do it, but the best trade for Cooper Kupp right now and the team, the best fit would be the 49ers. You're dumb if you trade Cooper Kupp to the 49ers.
Don't fucking do that. That'd be madness. Yeah, but
don't tell me after Ayuk's injury that's not the best fit right now. Like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. If I'm Cooper Kupp, the 49ers is where I'd want to go and play football. But there's so many other teams out there that would be a great fit for Cooper Kupp. But I just don't see why the Rams would do that. I don't see why when you're two wins behind.
I think if they lose tonight, that's when they truly trade him because it looks like they're going to play him tonight. And if they were 100% set on trading him, I don't think you play him and risk him getting hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that as well. And then Jay, the most surreal news that the worrying thing about this is I thought it was a joke that people were posting, and then like actual news sources started talking about it. Jay, what do you make of the Matthew Stafford being traded to the Minnesota Vikings rumors? Can you just run everybody down on that because I haven't actually read anything about it.
What Schefter said is the thing I said the other day. It's just an internet rumor that's picking up steam. But sometimes those come from a place of reality. I don't believe this is true at all.
No.
So what do you give up? There's the question. With a team who banking on a compensatory pick only has 4 picks this year. Okay. So the Vikings have, let's say, 4 picks because they should get a compensatory pick for Danielle Hunter. So you're looking at a team that has a first, a third, and 2 fifths. What are you giving up for? And then why would you trade for a guy when you have a quarterback that's playing solid as fuck right now? And if he could eliminate a couple turnovers, it'd be even better. And then you just drafted JJ McCarthy and you moved up in the first round to get him.
Yeah, the reason that you have those, one of the reasons why you have those picks is because of moving around and stuff like that to go get JJ.
You ended up with Turner, which I'm absolutely okay with. They ended up with Dallas Turner, who's been balling, and fucking JJ McCarthy, who's the future. I'm absolutely okay with them only having 4 picks, but what the fuck do you do? If what would they give up? And why would the Rams move on from Stafford? Unless
I don't get it.
If they lost tonight and you want to blow it up and start over, okay. But Stafford's going to play another year or 2 after this. So what would it wouldn't make sense for the Vikings? Yeah,
why would the Vikings then also have moved on from Kirk Cousins to then end up with Matthew Stafford? Like you just sat in the same issue.
Kuwaiti's goal was to get a rookie quarterback with a rookie contract to build this team around.
Yeah,
and
right.
They definitely in the offseason need to go out and get a right guard. They're going to have to get younger corners because our corners are playing great, but they're old. Like that one, and it just popped in my head where Stephon Gilmore falls on his ass for that touchdown. I was so sad because I'm like, the best corner on our team just tripped and fell on his ass and left him wide open.
I'm surprised he didn't need like a Zimmer frame to get back up as well, Needed maybe like a Stannis stairlift to help himself get back up after the fall.
Yeah, I don't understand that rumor. Like, and then Canadian
Yeah, I
comes in
didn't.
like it's a fact, and I just wanted to pull my fucking hair out and be like,
I did not get that whatsoever. But Jay, the Vikings are minus 3-point favorites in this game. Who have you got?
oh, I had 2.5, but okay. Still, I'm going with the Vikings to win this, to come back. Teams lose in the NFL. What determines a good team is how you react to it. So if they lose this game, then we have to reevaluate everything we were talking about the Vikings. If they win this game, they prove that they just lost to a really good team in a hard-fought battle.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the Vikings,
the superstition no longer applies because they lost.
That's what I was just going to say. I was just going to say, like, oh, yeah. I was just going to say, oh, Jace, so your superstitions die as soon as they lose. That makes sense. That makes
now
sense.
I can go back to picking what I truly feel and go from there. Yeah.
That makes total sense to me. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this by 3 points as well. I was surprised that the spread was so close. I think that the betting markets are seeing a bit too much into the Rams getting Cooper Kupp back and they're getting Puka Nacua back and those kind of things. I don't think either of those guys will be full go yet, full workload, ready to play. So I don't think they're going to do great here. And I'm not sure that the Rams offensive line has a propensity to just be terrible. And I think against this Vikings defense, you can't allow that to happen. So I've got the Vikings here.
Ever since Witt retired, that offensive line has not been top anymore,
Yeah, definitely. I nearly made this one of my lock bets, but I don't like to get my lock bets out of the way this early.
You never want to lock bet a Thursday night game because everybody might still be beat up from Sunday because that's a short week to try to recover. You don't get a full week of practice, so all of your routines, and anybody who's played sports know athletes are very routine and or very superstitious.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't like lock betting these Thursday night games. Jay, there's also not a London game for us to talk about, which is good. So we can move straight. Sorry, you can get to sleep in. Yeah. So we can move straight on, Jay, to our Week 8 best bets, which we're doing really well in, Jay. Actually, in our best bets. So these are the bets that we would make every single week. I'm 13-8. Jay is 12-9. So we're doing really well. That's winning money. That's what we're doing right there.
If you're a professional gambler, you shoot for 54% or better to be a professional gambler. So
there you go. So we're killing it. We're all over it at the moment. So Jay, what's your number one best bet of the week?
Bills -3 over the Seahawks.
I also have the Bills -3 over the Seahawks. In my best bets here, I was surprised that was so close. I think the Bills look much better on offense, and I think they look decent on defense. And I think the Seahawks got a lot of love at the start of the season, from me especially. They got a lot of love for beating teams that weren't very good. And they, right. So mine is also the Bills. So what's your second?
Commanders +2.5 versus the Bears.
Okay.
I almost went with the money line, but I'm like, fuck it, let's give myself a little cushion.
Yeah, not worried about the Jaden Daniels injury on that one?
No, he's going to start. He'll be fine.
Yeah, if he starts, then I'm with you 100%.
You're the one who just crowned Marcus Mariota earlier.
Yeah, but I think the Bears are actually half decent. That's the issue there. I think the Bears, defensively, are pretty good. I'll be taking the Commanders +2.5 in our actual picks on Sunday, everybody. Make sure to tune in on those picks on Sunday, but we'll know if Jaden Daniels is starting by then as well. And I'm sure that how much does the line shift there once we get 100% commitment that Jaden Daniels is starting?
I don't think it moves much because I think Vegas already knows.
All right. Okay. So you think that the Commanders are just going in as dogs, straight away?
Yeah.
All right.
But
I
isn't that game in Chicago?
Yes.
Which means that Vegas actually thinks that the Commanders are a half a point better than them on a neutral field.
Yes. Yeah. Where is that game? I don't have it. I don't. I don't have it written down. I've
Okay,
missed
well,
it
give
in
us
the
yours. I'll look.
book. I've missed it in the draft games, the DraftKings book.
Oh
Which is
no,
maybe why
it's at the Commanders. I was wrong.
it's at the Commanders. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, big game there,
That makes me
and
feel
we'll see
better about that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We'll see if Jaden Daniels starts in that one. Jay, my second one here is the New England Patriots are +7 against the New York Jets. I don't think the New York Jets are a good enough football team to put a touchdown win on a division rival. I think that Drake May has shown me enough that if he actually, on the very few times he is able to throw the ball with a bit of time, he looks good. And I think the Patriots have a decent enough defense to make a bit of trouble there.
I would never bet that game just because the Patriots could play great or shit the bed all like either way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't love it, but I'm going to bet against the Jets when they're 7-point favorites just at the moment and the way that they're playing until they prove me wrong. Okay, Jay, what's your third here?
Texas -5.5 versus the Colts.
Yeah, I actually have the -5, Jay. So you can have the 5 instead, the 5.5, which is even better. I nearly took that one. As well. I think the Texans again reacted to a bit for their last week. I think and the Colts. The Colts, if Anthony Richardson is playing, are a really difficult team to evaluate completely, and they're a really difficult offense to play. They don't play consistent offense at all. Jay, I've got the Packers -4 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are one of the worst teams in the NFL, and I think the Packers have a case to say that they're in the top 10 for the best teams in the NFL. So, yeah,
I don't agree that the Packers are in the top 10, but I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I can't trust the Jags.
I think besides the Texans, you're a prisoner of the moment because they haven't beat anybody good and they barely beat the Texans.
Yeah, definitely. I think they do have a pretty good offensive setup to beat the Jags by at least 4. I think the Jags. That's more of an indictment on the Jags, I think, than a love of the Green Bay Packers. On that one, I never love betting for the Packers. I always end up cheering against them, no matter what happens here.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so everybody, that's our best bets there. Going forward, tune in on Sunday to make sure you see where we bet every single team, every single game for every single team throughout this week. Some really interesting lines to talk about throughout the week. So come check us out on Sunday, where we'll also be doing our power rankings. And whatever else we do on Sunday. There's another segment we do on Sunday, but I've forgotten what it is. So come check it out because I've forgotten. So come check it out.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think, and I'm like, what did we both forget?
There is another one. Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you tune in Saturday morning for College Football Junkies. They had their first premiere episode last Saturday. It was a lot of fun. So check that out and make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern for MMA Underground, where Buddy V and Sam K bring you some of the dopest fighters out there, have some fun interviews with them. So make sure you check that out. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I think that's why Maddie's pointing.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Hey, everyone. If Justin Jefferson and Micah Parsons can't get you to subscribe, I don't know what the fuck the problem is. But all right, guys. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.